Good evening and welcome to the Requiem for London, the City of Martyrs. Tonight, we start our scene with Miss Emily Stevenson. Well, she's carrying a plastic bag with it's not home groceries, but something she needs for work. Some supplies for work. Um, Mostly cleaning supplies. They've run out. She's wearing her normal, fairly baggy clothing, baggy like training clothes, but like fairly baggy, like sweatpants and baggy, like a little too large hoodie. And she's got the hood up, and she's just carrying this bag around. She's heading back to work, and well, the favorite store she normally goes to. It's a bit closer. It ran out of some of the things she needed, so she's gone a bit of her out of her way. That's fine. She's making her way, and there's some construction on the road. She took a different road home. There is some construction from some dilapidated buildings that only really now has gotten fixed or in the process of getting fixed. Whatever the reason, this night at this partly collapsed building, partly construction site, there's someone else. And what is that person doing? And that's the question.
From where you're walking, you'll find yourself distracted, probably first by something that you can't quite put your finger on, simply because there's no one really there. And then you realize there is someone there, someone that you normally wouldn't take any notice of were they human, but her predatory aura is almost flaring like a beacon. And the person in question seems to be quite aware of it, and this is Maria. She's wearing a long coat which looks like it would be more at home in the 40s than in modern days, but it's a long coat and she's got the sides of it drawn up against her face. So pretty much all you see from is a shape, probably a headscarf on as well, like a cowl, long jacket, collar drawn up, and she's bent over and she's picking at the rubble. She's wearing gloves though, you will take note of that. Picking at the rubble, and then picks up a piece of corner architecture and holds it up to the streetlight, strokes it, caresses it gently, says something that you might or might not hear depending on if you want to sharpen your senses. But she just stares at it for a moment and almost traces the curves of the architecture of the scrolls that are carved into the cornicing, and again goes back to just sort of not picking at the spoil heap this time, but almost like she's gotten her answer, she just drops it back to the spoil heap and keeps walking around the back of the area. It's like she's looking for another spoil heap to sort of confirm more suspicions.
Emily, as she begins to feel this predatory aura, she stops, just looks around at first, and then she catches a glimpse of you. And she stands there for a moment and just turns, well, not away, but turns to the side and just walks a little bit further, and it seems to go in behind a corner of some kind.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that you're getting close enough that I would be able to feel your predatory aura?
Yes. Well, depending, I mean, I think it's the same range for everyone. So yes, you would definitely be able to tell that something's close.
Mm-hmm. She'll not so much straighten, but just not like she's in a shock that there's somebody else there. She'll just sort of slowly stand up and turn her head to one side, turn her head to the other. And let's say for dramatic purposes, she'll catch your eye and you'll see a glint of red under the hood that she's got up, or the headscarf that she's wearing. Well, she's not wearing a hoodie. That's so modern.
Yeah, well,
And then she'll keep going, doing what she's doing, sort of like
just,
acknowledging you, but I have my own thing to do.
um, just FYI, that's so modern fashion. And Emily, do not mix. She would not have any idea what is anything. Anyways,
That was an OOC comment anyway, but
yeah,
yeah.
I know. It will. You will notice that you'll probably continue
Mm-hmm.
for a while
Mm-hmm.
before this this person just come up and just uh, excuse me.
Can I help you?
I don't think we've been introduced.
Maria will just again look at the piece of uh, building that she's got in her hand, turn it over, almost like an archaeologist, studying how it's fractured, how, scratching the dust off it, and then just once she's satisfied and puts it down, just, I believe we have not. Is this your territory? Am I intruding?
What? No, 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 no. It's fine.
Then how may I be of assistance?
It's just like there aren't too many of us, like in the city. So I thought, I don't know, we should at least introduce each other so we know that what's what's going on. And and not that, like, just that we've met.
She just stares at you, as in, is that all?
Um, she a little awkwardly puts the bag down and just walks over and just puts a hand out. My name's Emily.
Very classic name, Emily, used throughout the ages.
Uh, Thanks.
She'll shake your hand. It's interesting. It's a very limp grasp. You yeah, roll roll a body language read for me.
Where do we roll it? Just the rolls thing?
Yeah, please. And if you could just throw a link in the chat for me so I don't have to go through my history, that'd be grand.
Grand. And there we go. And there we go. And so that would be wits.
Just give me a wit's empathy.
Oh, the amounts of dice I have in this. I actually have 2 successes, which is...
You do have 2 successes. Very good. You get the distinct feeling that she's purposefully putting no pressure on your hand at all. Almost like she's afraid to touch you because she doesn't want to touch you because she doesn't want to hurt you.
Well, she takes note of that. And she just says, well, so you've come back to London, or you've been... Well, obviously you haven't been here for... And she just points upward. The thing. So, do you know of
She'll
any...
actually just frown and go, "What are you stammering about?"
Nothing? I was just wondering, like, some of us are looking into certain things that happened 10 years ago. Well, that night 10 years ago, and, like, maybe you knew of some of the locations. Like, she points to the rubble. maybe you know some of the things that were a thing back in the day, and maybe you'd had some ideas, pointers, something about.
You make a lot of assumptions. Just blink
Well,
slowly at you.
Maybe.
For the first time, she'll actually, like, not so much crack a human emotion, she'll just almost appear to move in a way that isn't calculated. She'll just put her hand to the bridge of her nose and go, and then she'll snap the rubber band because she realizes that she sighed, and that's one of her things. She doesn't like sighing. She doesn't like human emotion and showing it, and goes, think hard about what you're going to say before you say it. It will save you stammering. It's very difficult to take somebody who stammers correctly.
Great.
Seriously. Fun.
Yeah, I know that's kind of one of my problems, but I always say the wrong thing at the wrong time. Look, I just, she looks you up and down and just.
What is it you want to know? You have one question, and then I'm bored of this conversation. But know that I will get the same favor in return, Emily.
Have you reported to the sheriff?
Of course I have. I'm an upstanding citizen.
Good.
What is your earliest memory?
So what?
What is your earliest memory? The first thing you can remember.
I don't want to talk about that.
Unfortunately, we had a bargain.
Well, I refuse to answer. That's my answer.
Then I have no more use for you. Good night. Maria turns on her heel and is going. She purposefully walks slowly because she wants you to come after her.
And she picks up the bag, but she just looks after you and she just goes, look, you're asking about something very personal, okay? So, and that's not normally polite, and that's something I really want.
Maria turns on her heel. Why are you afraid of me?
Because my guess is that you're somewhat older than me.
And that makes me terrifying. It's a simple question.
It makes you. She looks at you. You can tell, like, well, you don't need to roll. It's not like Emily's hiding it. There's been a bit of a shift in her demeanor. She seems less nervous now. For some weird reason, she just. Well, you almost didn't press my hand, meaning that you're probably a lot stronger if you want to be. You're older, meaning I really don't have any idea of what you're capable of. And that, well, is quite a risk. Thereby telling you shit becomes a risk too.
Just lowers her eyes and smiles. And now that she's actually turned back towards you, let's say that you actually do get a good look at her, and not only is her eyes red as a Ferrari, but she's also got completely white porcelain skin. It's like she's just carved from marble in a way. And she'll actually just look at you again and go, it's wise to be afraid. But between you and I, and every kindred, every monster that walks the earth, we should all be terrified of each other. Age in itself is a curse. And I suppose I will give you this piece of advice. You need to find out who you are and make peace with the monster that you are, so that you can boldly walk up to anyone and proclaim what it is that you are. Only then will you be on a path more noble than the one you are now. Good evening. As I said, I'm done with you.
A point
Walking
of,
away.
yeah, a point of note at this point, as you're walking away. Emily's just standing there and walks away. You've heard of, maybe this is the person? Again, you're not sure, but there is like some rumors going around that someone, like one of the Crimson Council people, called the Wolf. There are some rumors that he has sired a child, and it's a woman, and you're not sure if it is the Emily, what's the name, but it sticks out. I'm saying this because David said this as general knowledge to other people. So,
Okay.
but that's unusual because he normally apparently doesn't sire all that often. So that's off. But well, I'll just put that in there. But yeah, Emily just she will sit there a little bit confused and just a little bit weirded out, but she'll just shake her head and turn, and she will return to her place of work. And as the two part ways, I believe that this is the moment that we will end our scene. Thank you very much, players, for playing, and watchers for watching. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.